Before we begin, what if I told you that most of your stress, anxiety, and frustration come from trying to control things you were never meant to control? Today, you'll discover the one Stoic principle that has helped millions of people find peace in a chaotic world. Stay with me until the end, because this single lesson could completely change the way you think about life. And if you're new here and enjoy timeless Stoic wisdom that helps you build a calmer mind and a stronger life, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need it. Now, let's begin. Have you ever stayed awake at night, worrying about something you couldn't change? Maybe it was another person's opinion, a mistake you made years ago, an uncertain future, or a situation that seemed completely out of your hands. You kept thinking, planning, imagining every possible outcome, yet no matter how much you worried, nothing changed. Now ask yourself this: how much of your life has been spent fighting battles that were never yours to fight? Most people wake up every morning carrying invisible burdens. They worry about whether people like them, whether they'll succeed, whether life will go according to plan, whether someone will disappoint them. And before the day has even begun, their peace is already gone. The Stoics discovered something extraordinary more than 2,000 years ago. A truth so simple, yet so powerful, that it has helped countless people remain calm in the middle of chaos. They realized that almost everything causing us stress belongs in one of only two categories: things we can control and things we cannot. It sounds obvious, but very few people actually live this way. Imagine trying to control the weather. You stand outside shouting at the clouds, demanding that the rain stop, begging the wind to change direction. No matter how hard you try, the sky doesn't listen. Eventually, you would realize something. The storm isn't exhausting you. Your resistance to the storm is. Now, think about your own life. How often do you argue with reality? You wish people would behave differently. You wish the past had never happened. You wish tomorrow came with guarantees. You wish life followed your plans. But reality continues moving in its own direction. And every moment you fight it, you lose a little more of your peace. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus began his teachings with one life-changing observation: some things are within our control, and some things are not. That single idea became the foundation of Stoicism, not because it makes life easier, but because it tells you where your energy truly belongs. Think about holding two buckets. One is filled with things you can control: your actions, your choices, your character, your attitude. The other bucket is filled with everything you cannot control: other people's opinions, the weather, the economy, the past, the future. Now imagine spending your entire life trying to carry only the second bucket. No wonder you feel exhausted. The weight was never meant to be yours. Marcus Aurelius ruled one of the greatest empires in history. He faced war, disease, political betrayal, and constant uncertainty. Yet instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" he asked a different question: "What can I do about it?" Notice the difference. One question creates helplessness, the other creates action. This is the Stoic mindset. When something happens, don't begin by asking whether it's fair. Begin by asking, is this within my control? If the answer is yes, give it your full attention. If the answer is no, give it your acceptance. Imagine standing on the beach watching the tide. You can scream at the ocean all day. You can demand that the waves stop. You can become angry every time the water reaches your feet. Or you can learn to swim. The ocean hasn't changed. You have. That is the power of focusing on what you can control. It transforms you instead of waiting for the world to transform first. Here's something many people never realize. Every time you worry about something outside your control, you're giving away a piece of your life. Think about how many hours people spend wondering what others think of them. They replay conversations, analyze facial expressions, read between the lines of text messages. Imagine criticism that hasn't even happened. Meanwhile, the only opinion they truly control, their own, is being ignored. The Stoics believed your peace should never depend on another person's approval, because the moment your happiness depends on someone else's thoughts, you've handed them the keys to your emotional life. Imagine a ship in the middle of a violent storm. The captain cannot control the wind. He cannot control the waves. He cannot control the darkness. But he can control one thing: how he steers the ship. That one decision often determines whether the journey continues. Life works exactly the same way. You cannot control every challenge that appears, but you can always choose the direction of your response. That is where your true power lives. Not in controlling life, but in mastering yourself. Ask yourself honestly, what have you been trying to control that has never truly belonged to you? Another person's choices, someone's opinion, an outcome that hasn't happened yet. How much peace has that struggle cost you? Perhaps the greatest freedom in life doesn't come from getting everything you want. Perhaps it comes from finally realizing you were never supposed to control everything in the first place. And maybe the life you've been searching for begins the moment you stop fighting the things you cannot change and start mastering the things you can. So why do we spend so much time trying to control things that were never ours to control? Because deep down, we believe control will protect us. We tell ourselves, if I plan every detail, nothing will go wrong. If everyone likes me, I'll finally be happy. If I worry enough, I'll be prepared for whatever happens. But think about your own life. Has worrying ever changed the future? Or has it only stolen your peace in the present? The Stoics understood something that modern life constantly makes us forget. The desire to control everything is often just another form of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of uncertainty, fear of losing what we love. The problem isn't that these fears exist. The problem is that we allow them to become our masters. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you hold it gently, most of it remains in your hand. But the tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. Life works the same way. The more desperately you try to control every outcome, the more anxious you become. Marcus Aurelius knew this better than anyone. Every morning he reminded himself that he would face difficult people, unexpected problems, disappointments, and circumstances beyond his control. Notice what he wasn't doing. He wasn't expecting life to be easy. He was preparing his mind to remain steady when life became difficult. That simple shift changes everything. Most people wake up expecting a perfect day. Then traffic appears, someone is rude, plans change, an email brings bad news, and suddenly, their entire mood collapses, not because the problem was unbearable, but because reality didn't match their expectations. The Stoics expected challenges, not because they were negative, because they understood the nature of life. When you stop expecting life to obey your plans, you stop being surprised every time it doesn't, and that makes you remarkably calm. There is another habit that quietly steals our peace: seeking approval. Think about how much of your life has been influenced by what other people might think. Maybe you didn't speak because you feared criticism. Maybe you didn't follow your dream because someone called it unrealistic. Maybe you've spent years trying to prove your worth to people who never intended to appreciate you. Here's the truth. You can spend your entire life trying to satisfy everyone, and you'll still fail, because people's opinions change like the weather. One person admires you, another misunderstands you. Someone praises you today, then criticizes you tomorrow. If your confidence depends on those opinions, your peace will rise and fall with them. Epictetus taught that if you seek things outside yourself to determine your happiness, you will always become their servant. Read that again. Always. If praise makes you happy, criticism will make you miserable. If success defines you, failure will destroy you. If other people's approval gives you confidence, their rejection will take it away. The Stoics chose a different foundation: character. Because your character belongs to you. No one can steal your honesty. No one can take away your discipline. No one can remove your courage. These are treasures that remain yours, even when everything else changes. Imagine a lighthouse standing beside the ocean. Every day, the waves crash against it, storms surround it, the wind howls, but the lighthouse doesn't chase the waves. It doesn't argue with the storm. It simply continues doing what it was built to do. Be the light. The Stoics believed your life should be like that lighthouse. You cannot stop the storms, but you can refuse to become one. Another powerful Stoic practice is asking one simple question whenever something goes wrong. What part of this belongs to me? Suppose someone insults you. Their words, not under your control. Your response, entirely under your control. Suppose you lose your job. The decision, not yours. How you respond afterward, entirely yours. Suppose someone disappoints you, their behavior, not yours. Whether you become bitter or wiser, that choice belongs to you. This is where your freedom begins, not by controlling every event, but by taking complete responsibility for your response. There is enormous power in realizing that no one can force you to become angry. No one can force you to become bitter. No one can force you to abandon your values. Those decisions are always yours. And once you understand that, you stop living as a victim of circumstances. You begin living as the author of your own character. Think about how much energy you've spent trying to control things that were never yours. Now imagine investing that same energy into your habits, your discipline, your health, your relationships, your purpose. How different would your life look a year from now? Perhaps the greatest secret of Stoicism isn't learning to control the world. Perhaps it's finally realizing the world was never your responsibility. Your mind is, your choices are, your character is. And when you begin living from that truth, stress begins to lose its grip, because you're no longer carrying the weight of things that were never yours to carry. There is one lesson that separates people who live with constant anxiety from those who remain calm even when life falls apart. It isn't intelligence, it isn't talent, it isn't luck. It's understanding where your power truly begins and where it ends. Most people spend their lives trying to control the uncontrollable. They want every conversation to go perfectly, every relationship to last forever, every opportunity to succeed, every plan to unfold exactly as they imagined. But life has never made those promises, and the moment you expect certainty from an uncertain world, disappointment becomes inevitable. The Stoics chose a different path. They stopped measuring success by outcomes. Instead, they measured success by their effort. Think about an archer preparing to shoot an arrow. The archer can practice every day. Choose the best bow. Aim with complete focus. Release the arrow with perfect technique. All of that is within the archer's control. But once the arrow leaves the string, the wind may change, the target may move, rain may begin to fall. Those things are no longer his responsibility. His responsibility ended the moment he gave his best. Life works exactly the same way. You control your preparation, your effort, your honesty, your discipline, your courage, but you cannot control every result. And perhaps that realization is one of the greatest sources of freedom. Because many people refuse to begin until they're guaranteed success. They delay their dreams, postpone difficult conversations, avoid taking risks, not because they lack ability, but because they're afraid of outcomes they cannot control. The Stoics would remind them of something powerful. You are responsible for your actions, not for the results. Imagine planting a tree. You prepare the soil, water it consistently, protect it from harm, but you cannot force it to grow overnight. Growth happens in its own time. The same is true for every meaningful goal in your life. You cannot force people to trust you. You cannot force opportunities to arrive. You cannot force success. You can only become the kind of person who is ready when those things appear. Marcus Aurelius lived by one simple habit. At the end of each day, he reflected on his own actions, not on what other people did, not on whether life was fair. He asked himself, did I live according to my values today? Think about how different your life would become if that were your daily question. Not, did everyone approve of me? Not, did everything go according to plan? But did I act with courage? Did I act with honesty? Did I act with kindness? Because those answers belong entirely to you. No one else decides them. One of the greatest misunderstandings about Stoicism is that people think it's about becoming emotionless. It isn't. Stoicism isn't about eliminating emotion. It's about refusing to let emotion become your master. You'll still feel disappointment, you'll still feel sadness, you'll still experience fear. The difference is this: those emotions no longer make your decisions. Your values do. Imagine a skilled sailor crossing the ocean. He doesn't control the wind, he doesn't control the waves, but he has learned something far more valuable: how to adjust his sails. That's what the Stoics teach us. Life will always change direction. People will surprise you. Plans will fail. Unexpected challenges will appear. You cannot stop those winds, but you can always adjust your sails. Every setback becomes an opportunity to practice patience. Every criticism becomes an opportunity to practice humility. Every uncertainty becomes an opportunity to practice courage. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening?" begin asking, "Which virtue is this moment asking me to practice?" That one question transforms obstacles into teachers. The Stoics never wanted to escape life's challenges. They wanted to become the kind of people who could face those challenges without losing themselves. And perhaps that is the greatest victory of all. Not controlling the world, but remaining peaceful while the world refuses to be controlled. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. The problems haven't completely disappeared. Life still brings surprises. People still have opinions. Some plans still fail, but something is different. You no longer panic when things don't go your way. You no longer lose sleep over what someone else thinks. You no longer waste hours fighting reality. Instead, you focus on what you can do today. One right decision, one honest action, one courageous step. Day after day, your confidence grows. Not because life became easier, but because you finally stopped carrying what was never yours to carry. That is the quiet strength of Stoicism. It doesn't promise a perfect world. It prepares you to live wisely in an imperfect one. So before you leave today, remember this. Every morning, life places two paths in front of you. The first path is filled with worry, trying to control people, trying to predict the future, trying to change the past. The second path is much simpler. Control your thoughts, control your actions, control your character. Then let life unfold as it will. Because in the end, your peace has never depended on controlling the world. It has always depended on mastering yourself. Carry this Stoic truth with you every single day. If it's within your control, give it your best effort. If it's outside your control, give it your peaceful acceptance. Master that one principle, and you'll discover something extraordinary. The world may remain unpredictable, but your mind will finally become unshakable.